In this video, we are looking at path parameters in FastAPI, a way to pull dynamic values directly out of the URL, have FastAPI, I convert them to the right Python type, and reject bad input automatically before your function ever runs. It is one of the first features you will reach for, and understanding it well sets you up for everything else in FastAPI. When a client requests a URL like /items/42, the number 42 is baked right into the path. In many frameworks, you would write code to split the URL, extract that segment, cast it from a string to an integer yourself, and then manually return an error if the cast fails. Every single endpoint with a dynamic segment needs that same block of defensive code. It gets old fast, and it is easy to forget a check. Think of the URL pattern as a hotel hallway where most of the path is fixed. The corridor, the floor, but one slot in the door is designed to accept a variable number. FastAPI's curly brace syntax is that slot. You declare where the variable part lives, and FastAPI extracts it for you, the same way the door reads a keycard, without you writing any passing logic. There are 4 pieces working together here. First, you write the URL pattern with a segment in curly braces. That is the path parameter placeholder. Second, your handler function declares a parameter with the exact same name. Third, you add a Python type hint to that parameter. Fourth, FastAPI reads that hint at startup and wires up conversion and validation for you. If a request comes in with a value that cannot be converted, say, the word apple, where an integer was expected, FastAPI returns a clear 422 unprocessable entity response before your code even runs. We import FastAPI and HTTP exception, then create the app instance. The decorator at tab.get with the string /items/open brace item _id close brace declares the path parameter. The handler function readItem accepts item _id annotated as int. The type hint is all fast. API needs to convert the URL segment and validate it. Inside the function, we check whether the ID exists in our fake database and raise a 404 if not. Notice the second root /item/featured is defined after the first in this file. That is intentional only to show the point visually. But in real code, you must place fixed paths like this one before the variable root. Otherwise, the literal word featured would be captured as the item _id value, and your fixed root would never be reached. When FastAPI starts up, it registers each root and inspects the function signatures using Python's type hint introspection. When a request arrives, the router matches the URL, pulls out the raw string for each curly brace segment, and hands it to Pydantic's validation layer. Pydantic tries to coerce that string to the declared type. If it succeeds, your function receives a proper Python integer or whatever type you declared. If it fails, FastAPI immediately returns a 422 response, with a machine-readable body explaining exactly which parameter was wrong. No custom error handling required from you. Use a path parameter when the value is the identity of the resource. It is required, it belongs in the URL structure, and removing it would make the URL meaningless. Skip path parameters when the value is optional, when you are expressing a filter or sort order, or when you have many dynamic segments that make routing logic confusing. And always remember, if you need a fixed root that shares the same URL shape as a variable one, declare the fixed root first in your file so FastAPI matches it before the variable pattern. To recap, path parameters let you embed variable segments in a URL pattern using curly braces, and FastAPI wires them to your function parameters by matching names. The type hint is where the real power lives. It drives automatic conversion and validation, so you never write that boilerplate again. And the one ordering rule to burn into memory: fixed paths before variable paths, always.